in China, a lot of people drink wheat beer, like Belgian wheat beer, the German Weiss beer, and then these beer are really famous. But at the same time, like there's like a group of hyped people, and then they love to drink. What they call is like a really sweet, fruity sour beer, and also there's a group of people that love stout, which is like a really heavy, really adjunct based stout.
Hey folks, this is Sid Patel, CEO of Beverage Trade Network and China Beer Competition. I'm here with Kenneth Ho, one of the famous beer influencers, I would call, beer writers, beer judge. He's been judging the competition, and more importantly, he knows what's going on in the China beer market. So this call is really for the international producers, beer brands that are looking to enter into the China market. And as we know, there has been a slowdown overall in global economy and especially in China. But we're going to still touch base on why are some brands still growing and what are they doing successfully, right? So there is always a ray of hope, and I personally believe that China has reached its bottom and it's going to get momentum again soon. So it's a great time to sort of reevaluate your China position. So Kenneth, let's start there. What do you think of the current market, and how are you seeing the next 3 to 4 years?
I think like China is still in like a really good potential markets because it's so big, and then it's there's of course cities like Guangzhou in the southern part, and then you can see the beer market is becoming bigger, and then also the second tier cities, and then actually there's a lot of beer bars opening, and then people are really interested on different kinds of beer. So I think no matter there's beer downtrends across the world, but I think in China we do see most of the beer brands, and they are still doing a good shape. And then I think not just for of course for the global brands, but at the same time for the local brands, some of them they're doing pretty well. Yeah.
Super. And do you have any sort of data, or it's hard to get data, as you know, from China? So is there, what's your pulse? Like, is it doing better than the wine and spirits, right? Is it actually growing, or is it as a category there is a less consumption? Because as we know that overall there is this whole less alcohol consumption, like moderation,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
is China also adapting, or
Uh,
everyone's drinking, and enjoying?
I think first of all not other markets. I think because other markets people are more conscious about their health, and then we
Hmm.
do see growing trends on non-alcoholic beverage. But
Hmm.
I think we do see in China, and then the alcoholic beverage, especially beer, is still, I can't say growing, but I think in some sections, of course, for the commercial big chains, there's a bit downtrends. But I think there is still a growing trend for a small business, craft beer breweries. I think they are still in growing a good shape. And but there's a lot of political challenges across the world. So of course the taxes, the tariff, and then that might impact some of the import beers into the China market. But overall speaking, I think the China people, and then they still looking at if the quality is good, and then and then you have a good distribution in China. I still do see good trends in China. But we have to be really I can say there's two kinds of people drinking beer in China right now. One, which they look at really a top quality beers, which they don't mind to pay, and then they can pay even wine prices for these kinds of beer, and then they just really can pay over 1,000 or 10,000 of US dollar for just a few beers, and then or actually there's a group of people they just looking at really cheap beers, and then so actually there's our really big competitions in that area. So if any global brands they want to enter
Hmm.
China, you have to be really understand what what you're talking about. You're looking for quality, or you're looking for
Hmm.
like a price. So the thing in the middles would be a little bit challenge for me, I think. Yeah.
Hmm. Where do you see opportunity? Like which categories or countries or flavor profiles are you seeing growth in?
I think we do see, of course, like a lot of markets, like lager, of course, is like something that people love, but we do see there's famous in China, a lot of people drink wheat beer, Belgian wheat beer, the German rice beer, and then these beer are really famous. But at the same time, there's like a group of hyped people, and then they love to drink what they call is really sweet, fruity sour beer, and and also there's a group of people that love stout, which is like a really heavy, really adjunct based stout, and then
Hmm.
this be a lot like for the small breweries. I think half of the more than half of the local craft breweries they are brewing this kind of beer, and then actually like a lot of these kind of beers they are in the beer events.
What
Like
about
I
packaging? Like, what kind of packaging would you recommend?
I think because they are especially the craft beer drinkers, and then they are highly influenced by the US trend. They accept both bottles and cans, and then even cans because it is you can just label it really nicely. So for export, like a canned beer is definitely something that they want. There is still maybe a very small volume of people they still require like bottles, but I think both bottles or cans is acceptable. In terms of volume, I think of course, like a 330 mil or like a 500 mil or those kind of volume, and then which is really highly acceptable. But there's also some even like a 1 liters format in China, but I think most of people they still prefer the smaller one.
I'll go on a little bit of sales and marketing. So one of the
No worries.
challenges which brands face is English or the way they communicate, because a lot of platforms are banned, like,
Yeah,
LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram and all that. How
yeah.
do you recommend they outreach who's not familiar with WeChats of the world? Like, what is a good way to connect and find importers and distributors?
Yeah, it's a very good question. It's using your platform, like I said, I think it's definitely a good channels. But yes, I think there is still some distributors they are start because those distributors they want to get in touch with global brands. So they already start to use Instagram or Facebook to connect with the world,
So
and
they
then
are on
to
VPN or something?
yes, yes, they're always on the VPN, but of course, for the brand to go into the markets, yes, and the WeChat or they call it Red Note, or TikTok, and then that's those platforms are really important for those people, and then I think right now with AI, I think it's much easier, but I know there's a bit challenge. So to use Hong Kong as a platform to for you to just get into China, also a worth looking because Hong Kong, and then we are using both Facebook, Instagram, and Google, but at the same time we use WeChat, and like a Taobao or whatever. So
Hong
we
Kong can
use
act like
both.
as a translator in the middle, right, as well.
Yes,
Meaning
yes,
as
yeah,
they understand the Western culture and then at the same time the mainland culture.
yeah, yeah. But once when you get into China, I think they because you had to have a label, specific labels on your package.
Okay.
Everything's on China language, so you need to stick that on your
Okay. Good to know. So you
your
need a
label.
different
Yeah.
package for Hong
Yes.
Kong market and mainland China.
Hong Kong, no. Hong Kong is a free entry port. So if you want to enter Hong Kong, it's easy. But when you want to get into China, because they are different
Understood.
systems, so it is much challenging. Yeah.
Understood. I've been hearing still there is an opportunity and growth. We're doing a webinar soon on tier two and tier three cities.
Yeah.
and where I think I mean I'll let you speak. How do you see people can target that markets, and what's your take on those markets?
Yes, I think that we also see like a good opportunity in tier two or tier three cities because we see there's growing trend for because beer is not that expensive and then like it's like everyone's can enjoy. So we do see there's growing trend. But we also need to understand that because for these cities, their salary is a bit lower than the tier one cities. So they are more price conscious. So we need to perhaps they're more focusing on more price sensitive, like a more low budget or they don't mind to sacrifice a bit on quality for a just like a cheaper price beer. So
Hmm.
I think those are really you need to balance between what's like when you enter China, of course maybe you can start with tier one first, but I think there's a lot of growth engines in like a tier two or tier three cities.
What is your route to market suggestions, right? Like China has is so advanced when it comes to different kind of commerce. Like there is a whole e-shopping happening or omni-commerce or the WeChat commerce or the normal distribution. So what is your suggestion for a complete like if someone who doesn't know how the actual what are different routes they can go about in selling beer in China?
I think definitely going through distributors would help would do a lot of work for you because they already have good distributions across different cities. So they I think and then they know the markets and then they know which bars or which cities can sell your beer and then they know how to work with on social media and then which helps promotion. So I think to pick up the right distributors is important. I think for the right distributor, what I say is about the what are the kind of products or beer they are selling because they can be really focusing on premium prices or they're really focusing on budgets or a really low prices. So and the brands that they sell and then and then the bar that they sell. I think those are really a consideration point when when there's a distributor approach you or you want to approach distributors because we needed to carefully select on who to work with and then so because they will be of course you want to continue your shipments and then not just for one batch or two batch, yeah, no problem. So if they have a long-term strategies to how to
Understood.
sell the beer, yeah, which is important.
Understood.
Yeah.
One of the things I experienced when I did 3 years of like we're still obviously doing our China events, but when we really were in the mainland tier two, tier three cities is and even like most of the times I see is a lot of times, the data is so hard to find again that okay, which are the beer distributors and which are but there are obvious ones which are like big and clean websites and all that. But then there are a lot of trading companies which are like importers. Like a shoe distributor is also a beer distributor, like a pen this importer is also right. So there are a lot of people who are importing many different things from furniture to beer, which I found. So and they're good big companies, and then there are a lot of vertical integrations, which is this millionaire or billionaire owns stores, and then they also own an importer, they also own a warehouse, they also own this, they also own a food shop. So it's very like it's you just don't know who's in which business is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So how do you source? How do you what's your recommendation on uh, how big is the market? Like, when it comes to finding importers, distributors, what all kind of people can be an importer?
What I suggest is at least you would need to find someone they are doing a beverage business. For example, I just I don't know because there's a lot of different there's premium beer, there's a more focusing on maybe supermarkets. You need to at least what they sell. At least if you want you just think what markets you are selling in your countries and then what markets you want to enter. For example, you want to get into supermarket, then you know what's the price, and then for your beer, and then you know what kind of like distributors will help you to just get into the consumer hands. Of course, there's a lot of different distributors, and then you just need to see what's the portfolio they have. There's some people they are more focusing on just premium side, and then they just focus on beer, and then I can recommend you some of the distributors that they just focusing on beer, but there is perhaps just a focus on just American beer, like European beer, and then I don't, but it depends. We can do a lot of
How,
communication, huh? Yeah.
how's the American beer perception going these days? Like, are people offensive, or meaning are they
No.
just not drinking, or they're drinking?
Drink, of course, because most of the craft beer trend in China, they just focusing on mainly on the United States beer. What they afraid of is getting the price high. So
Like
yeah,
taxes
the
and all that.
tariff, yeah, the taxes and
So
all that.
same
So
as people feel volatility, China importers and distributors and retailers are also feeling what's going to happen.
yeah, yeah, but I think still it's still okay. I think people are still chasing for yeah, the United States beer. I hope there is a change, because I do see there's because people are so into the beer from the United States. So for those traditional beer coming from England and Germany, I don't that there's a few brands. There's a quite, I think, 20, 30 brands, but there's a lot of cultural beer brands. They are not yet getting into China yet. So I hope there's because of the changing environment, so we can just get in more traditional brands across the world get into China, and then that's what I want to see. Yeah.
What are the 4 to 5 questions that you would, if you were a beer brewery international, would ask a potential China distributor so that they get educated? Like, what are the right questions to ask a China distributor?
First of all, is where they are located, what cities or distribution channels they have, what's the logistic, and then and also for facilities. Do you have a coach? Everything's cold chained, or what do you have a good facilities for storing beers, and also quite important is what's the payment terms, and then those kind of stuff, because I think to be honest, to set up the first a deal, and then which is important to just get a good distributor with a payment terms, and then which is everyone's is agreed on. So I think once you ask what kind of brands you also working with, and then maybe they are already known brands across in your countries, and then you maybe you can just email them, and then how are you working with the distributor, and then are you happy with them, you will be understand a bit more about these distributors from other perspectives. I think that perhaps the good questions they might able to ask. Yeah.
Okay, one last question, and the same
There was.
thing goes to what are the 4 or 5 questions distributors normally ask the suppliers, like what China importers and distributors want to know a supplier can do.
Of course, price, and also the SKUs, how many SKUs they are having, and also what kind of beer that you are making, and then and also I think how often you want, how the business you want to do. But I think it's important to just get connected them together first. Maybe the distributor will ask, do you have samples? Can you ship me some samples? If I want to have a kind of events, I maybe tap, what they call is a tap take over events across cities. Will you be supporting me, or something like that? I think those questions may be asked by the distributor.
Any final closing remarks or any tips you have on brands that typically make some mistakes? Like what mistakes have you seen them make when they launch or when they're approaching China beer market?
I think like there's a lot of opportunity in China, and then like in because China is so big and every cities and then they have their own opportunity, and then but like they also have their own backgrounds, like they are really different across different cities, and then like their like a culture, their food preference. I think like if like they want to get into China, I would suggest they come to China to have a look. Like because from what we see from the outsider perspective and what we look inside, I think that might make a difference. And then it's good to like connect with the people, and then I not everyone is good or not everyone is bad, but like I think like because it's a business, right? And then everyone's want to make money, and then it's good to not to just make something really fast. Just that you can just just like have a look slowly to pick the right people, and then and to understand which you think you can work with. I think just take some time on this process, and you will find the right people to work with, and then you will make a successful business.